Hey everybody, welcome back to Morning Joe with Mr. Scow. I'm Aaron Scowcroft, and today I'm actually featuring the BertrandDesignBuild, which is a local company here in Vermont that specializes in craftsmanship and construction. And I'm actually here with the owner, David Bertrand.
Hey.
Thanks for taking the time out today and essentially showing me what you do. And we had the opportunity to visit a few sites that we took some pictures of that you guys will be able to see later. Today we're actually on Greenbush Road here, right on the corner of Shelburne and Charlotte, and David's just going to kind of show us around and talk to us a little bit about what he does.
Yeah.
So
This is a house that we've done a couple multi-stage renovations to.
Yeah.
And in the front here is a porch. The old house had kind of a funky entryway, and we recrafted the entryway so that it accommodated this sort of porch. So that's all newly created, and we kicked this section out here. It became a mudroom in there for the kids. He's got 3 children. We like to work a lot with local products or real wood products. Our specialty is definitely on the creative side, and in this case we used Ipe decking, which is it's a hardwood that's impervious to rot and water resistant.
saves a lot of time and money.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little more on the expensive side. And then we try to use, whenever we're using something that's going to be trimmed white, we try to keep, in the exterior, try to keep away from wood products. Even cedar eventually rots. So we find ourselves using a lot of a product called Wolf, which there's 2 or 3 different products out there. There's this PVC type trim. From a foot away, it looks like real wood. It does hold paint, but we end up we've kind of been through Shelburne replacing just a ton of exterior trim, and we every 5 years you do it again and again and again unless we came up with a better system. So
well, you were telling me actually you did some of the windows out here too.
Yeah,
with that kind of same material.
Same exact material.
Yeah.
The windows get kind of beat up with both UV and water, so the front of this house we've kind of this is a late 1700s house, so nothing was square or level or even, and we tried our best to kind of make it look square. Actually, in this instance, that corner there is actually about 5 inches lower than that corner here.
Oh man.
So
that's just from time, right? A little settlement.
yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, see the PVC material right there.
Yeah, so all PVC trim, and again, really, we haven't sanded it out yet. Just we're still painting and sanding, but that will 100 years from now will look like that. So
that saves so much money too. Like especially a well-insulated window is a well-insulated house.
definitely, yeah.
So that's huge.
And that brings up a good point, Aaron, because what we are able to do a lot of times when we retrim windows like this, we're pulling the old casing off, which then gives us the opportunity. Most times you will find that there's no insulation in the window at all, so we can spray foam the window, and then we use it's actually a weatherproof and it has an R value. It's a shield tape, so we now tape the windows the right way. When we have the opportunity to side the house, we put tie back on it. Oftentimes we'll strap a house and actually put foam on the outside to get an R value on the outside. In this case we didn't have to because they're thick walls and it's actually already been insulated from the inside. But
that's cool. I didn't realize that with older windows the trimming actually didn't have any insulation at all.
A lot of the older houses had straw. Sometimes you'll find straw, sometimes you'll find newspaper.
Yeah.
And we have babysitting service too.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. There's Brian just getting it done, taking a little break.
Yeah, we typically make best friends with your kids, and we always make best friends with your dog. So
yeah.
I actually factor that into our bid that we usually lose about 5% of our time by throwing frisbee for dogs. So
I think people can get behind that here in Vermont.
Yep. Yeah, the homeowners usually love to see us come, love to see us go.
Yeah.
The dogs usually hate to see us come and really hate to see us go. So it kind of works that way. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the pleasure of the work too that I think really both sides of the equation can really appreciate.
Definitely,
like,
definitely.
You step back and you look at the finished product, and it's incredible.
Thanks. Yeah, and so we do soup to nuts design build. So we'll do new projects. We usually do at least 1 new house a year, if not 2. We did a house in Essex about a year ago with a horse barn, and but we end up doing a lot of creative additions and renovations kind of thing. We do a lot of kitchens, a lot of bumping, making spaces bigger, and our niche is definitely on the creative side. We try to, and that's free. my design services are free. So yeah,
creative building is crucial because a lot of the times it can really help sell a house. I mean, you had a story about regarding a nook that you had created in your own home that essentially sold the whole home, and it didn't cost you much, if I remember right. David had actually put fixtures in like this little nook. He had like a bench, a reading bench with like a bookshelves built into it, and
correct.
And apparently it helped the home really take off.
So we do stuff with realtors a lot where we try to come in and give some creative ideas about how to just add a few little things to help sell your house. What I found, I wear your hat too, because I was a real estate broker for 10 years. So,
oh wow!
So I've had both sides of the story. And what we found is in Florida, where I cut my teeth in real estate, is that you can be at the upper end of the price point if you have some creative stuff in there. Whereas if you're coming in at $250 a foot to $270 is your span, you could even push $270 just by a few little silly creative things. It's amazing what the average buyer, I believe, doesn't have the ability to think creatively. The average buyer doesn't.
Right.
Needs a little help with that. So we oftentimes jump in where real estate agents will bring us in and say, give us some ideas about what we could do to spice it up a little bit. And oftentimes you can do something for $3 or $4 grand that actually nets you back 15 or 20, sometimes more.
Return on investment.
Yeah.
A lot of people like that.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's kind of where we come in. And then on the new build stuff, it takes so little effort to interject something creative, like using an old barn window or just this natural elements in the design of what we're building versus carpet and vinyl, and we're going back to some of the materials that our forefathers used when they're building houses, particularly on the inside. So we oftentimes do that even on new builds, is make it look a little more timeless with the new stuff we're doing.
That's incredible, because I feel like a lot of people out here now are very receptive to that, like especially in Vermont. They love trying to keep timeless, historic things intact and emphasizing on it too.
Yeah. So our niche is really exactly that, Aaron. It's kind of in the middle. What we've got in Chittenden County and throughout Vermont, but particularly Chittenden County, is we've got there's a fairly big range of tract builders who will build you a house in Williston. There's four plans for 400 houses.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
So and in between that and the custom home builder who's building something on Shelburne Point at $450 a foot, multi-million-dollar houses, is us. So we can do a lot of those creative things that you might see scaled back in a $450 square foot house. We can do that. Oftentimes we'll end up going to one of those houses in Williston that were built a decade ago, one after another, and kind of interject some creativity on the inside without spending hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right. So you don't need to be a millionaire to use your services, but it's really important to get consultation from people, especially experts, folks. Just like I always say, if you've never sold a home in your life, going for sale by owner seems kind of silly, just considering the fact that, over time, I've gone through the transaction process so many times. And just the same for David here. Right. He's designed and built and worked creatively with so many homes that expert advice is always great advice. Yeah. And it could really make or break the purchase or the sale of your next home. Really worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, Dave. Well, I appreciate you coming out and let
thanks
me take some time up. And if anybody has any questions for Dave, he'll be tagged on our Facebook page, and we'll also have his contact information there. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.